witness a seismic event. Now, let the party begin.
Your healthy radio addiction starts now.
Ride or die, 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 fly. Know that they ride or die. Cody, what is my guys? Know that they fly. Know that they ride or die. I keep wearing no filter, I got no filter. No filter, I got no filter.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How you guys and gals doing? Yes, we missed the show yesterday, but that's because Hollywood was out there buying a freaking Jeep. So I guess we become a Jeep family here.
Yeah, but you don't get no ducks.
I don't get no ducks. I don't want those damn ducks on my. I'm gonna throw them right through a window if somebody puts a duck on my Jeep. Anyway, parents who don't know how to parent. And this was actually an ideal for my kid, and it was perfect title for what we were going to be talking about today. And we have this video. I actually put it up as a short over on all the platforms. And by the way, Hollywood is on Truth Social. And if you want to check out some biker news, man, it's going to be all over there, right to the source, all that good stuff. So go follow us on Truth Social. And this is why we came up with this. Listen to this, Sheriff.
What we're going to start doing Monday is, since parents, you don't want to raise your kids, I'm going to start raising them. Every time we make an arrest, your kid's photo is going to be put out there. And if I could do it, I'm going to perp walk your kid, so that everybody can see what your kid's up to. The second point of this is, if I can any way find out that a parent knew what was going on and wasn't doing anything, your is getting perp walked with them.
Damn!
So what do you think about that?
I say that it should totally be done. 100%. I agree.
It's gotten freaking stupid nowadays with parents and their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it was a lead up to all these false, phone calls or something like that. And the cops are overwhelmed down there. Why is it the freaking cops in Florida are they hard asses, and here in Illinois they're a bunch of punks?
Because here in Illinois they don't want to do their jobs.
Well, you know what? As much as I dislike a police officer, they are they're needed. But I think they are literally handcuffed by these leftist progressive prosecutors who that's like Illinois, no bail or whatever the hell it is. That really don't help anybody. And then to come find out all these murderers that were let in this country just walked over the border. It's pretty freaking messed up now.
No, you know what I've noticed a lot of is these kids nowadays just basically are running, doing whatever they want with no cares in the world. They could care less. They're mouthy as hell, and they dress the way they dress.
One thing I'm happy about is with our kids, one has a master and a double bachelor's. And then our son, he's literally street smart, knows what's going on. So the ones that live with me and you turned out great.
Yep.
You have to have two parents. And I've always said it, that a woman cannot raise a man. It's just not possible.
Well, that's why a lot of single parents rely on family members to step in as like especially if it's a single mom, like a brother to step in as like a father figure or an like an uncle or something like that to step in to help.
Hey, did you get that book out, The Road Rage, or is that going out today?
No, that's going out today. but my phone did that update thing, so I
Oh,
lost.
the Verizon was having a hell of a time yesterday. I guess they had an attack on our grid.
Yeah, well, I had a major update on my phone yesterday, so I lost a lot of stuff. So if Road Rage can resend me his address so I can get that in the mail today.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
But going back to parents who don't know how to parent,
Mm.
I think it's actually a good thing that they're starting to hold some of these school shooters' parents to task.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell, like the last one, what are you doing buying a mentally disabled kid?
Not mentally disabled, mentally disturbed. There's a difference.
Whatever. A gun.
Yeah.
And why ain't your guns in a safe?
Mm-hmm.
I know we run around saying Second Amendment, but there has to be some responsibility with it, don't there?
There needs to be responsibility and limits. I mean, that's just like the kid in Wisconsin who, his parents got arrested, just like the kid down south. His dad's arrested for buying the gun,
And they should be, I
and
think.
I agree 100%, and that's one of the reasons why this cop enough was enough.
Enough is enough, and you got Grady down there too. I put some of his shorts from his news conference up, but I was kind of heated. I was kind of pissed, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting your kitty tat today.
Yeah, my little baby.
You're getting a baby kitten. So we were going out. What is that? PetSmart.
PetSmart. Yeah.
You got to describe it because it pisses me off. It literally had me fuming pissed.
You just like how I describe it.
Yeah, it's better that way.
Well, in the town we were in where PetSmart is at, they were having their homecoming dance. So we are seeing a bunch of people walking into Target, or for those others like myself, Target. And these young ladies are wearing dresses that if they bend over, everything, cooter lips and all, are going to be
Let's be honest, they
sticking
could be
out.
hookers on Rush Street over in Chicago.
Well, that is exactly how you stated it when we went past. And
I was like,
"Mm-mm."
how the hell does a parent let their child go out that way?
Yep.
I went through the roof.
I think the biggest thing was I'm like, our daughter would never have dressed like that. No, we wouldn't let her out of the house. I get it. Kids are going out of the house wearing a specific outfit. Then they either go into the bathroom, they go to their friend's house, they change their clothes.
But these are 15, 16-year-old girls running around like they're hookers.
Yep. Mhm.
And when they dress like that, there's no way you can tell their age, and they can walk right into a bar at 16 years old. And they wouldn't know any different.
Nope.
There are some sick ass people in this world. I'm talking sick. You imagine the target they would make?
Oh yeah, definitely. And the sad part is that you go into any bar, and I'm not saying all, but you go into a bar and you will probably most likely see a good amount of people that are underage. Why? Because what happens? I know some specific places that you go into and there are minors in there drinking, being served. 1, because they purchased a fake ID. 2, because why? The bartender, oh, well, I'm getting tipped real well. Yeah, because they're a minor. They don't want you to stop serving them.
I guess I sound like a prude. But when you have daughter and granddaughters and you see that kind of stuff and know how bad it is right now out there, I wouldn't let them leave the house like that.
Mm-mm. No.
I don't want to sound like a prude, but come on. That's common sense with the evilness going out now.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a broad where she can bend over that's 16 years old and her cooter pockets showing.
Yep.
There's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think parents are parenting. And then you come and say, well, some of the parents buy them that. They need to be punched in the mouth.
Yeah, because when we were talking about it, when we seen those girls walking into Target, and I'm like, yeah, you know what the sad part is? The parents are buying those dresses.
Playbook says we're just getting old, but I don't know about just getting old. You know, I know how to party better than most of these younger kids. I'd walk around them in circles. But at the same time, I know there's a limit.
Yeah, you don't got to be walking out or going out at, between, and the sad part is between the ages of 12 and 17.
I'd kill my fucking daughter.
Dressed disgusting. You know how many kids that I see on a daily basis wearing stretch, those bicycle shorts, the spandex shorts with just a little half tank top, crop top thing, or where it looks like they're wearing spandex shorts and a bra, and they're walking around like that.
Doesn't parents realize that's why a lot of these kids get kidnapped or trafficked?
I don't think parents realize a lot of things.
It's not a safe world anymore.
No, it's not like how when we grew up, where you didn't have to really, yes, these things happen, but you didn't really hear about it. It didn't occur as frequently as these kind of things happen now. And do I think it's because of social media that we hear more about everything? Sure. We're going to hear 10 times more stuff nowadays because of social media, because it's easy access. It's at your fingertips. You don't have to watch the news anymore. You don't have to go buy a newspaper anymore because it's right here. You can look up anything. You could see anything, literally.
This thing with parents wanting to be their kids' friends, they need to be smacked. That's not getting them ready for this world. It's not teaching them. None of that stuff. And to let a daughter to go out like that, dude, I went like nuclear for a freaking half hour. And it wasn't even my kid.
No. That was like the whole conversation all the way home.
Maybe
like,
it's because I know
"Jeez."
the streets real good and what can happen to them.
And I don't think people think about it. It's like when you see your child leave the house.
She's not allowed to smoke anymore on the show.
I'm not smoking. When you see your child leave the house, look at what they're wearing. If they have a backpack, I'm sorry. I'd be that mom and I'd look in the backpack to make sure they don't have other clothes. Yeah, they can go to their friend's house and borrow clothes.
And you know what, the technology today, you better have one of that Life 360 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
On your phone, on that app. You have to now.
We had it with our daughter when she lived at home. We did. So we knew where she was.
And that's technology we didn't have as kids.
Mm-hmm. We didn't have that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things that we didn't have that the kids have today, but the way it needs to be is it needs to be, I don't know, more safe. These kids nowadays are just like a group of kids between the age of 8 and 10. There's 4, okay? They're in a place of business. They're all mouthing off and cussing like truck drivers. And then if the person that works at that place of business makes a comment to these kids about watching their mouths and stop talking like that, there's other people present. Then they go outside and get their mommy. And then they're talking the same way in front of their mother. And the mother
Road rage. He told both of his boys, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to teach you how to be a proper human being and make sure you stay alive.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. 100%. I agree.
I always correct my kids when they try calling me bro. You're damn right. I ain't your fucking bro.
Yeah, that seems to be the thing. These kids are calling everybody bro. What up, bro? What up, bro? They don't care if you're a guy or a girl.
But I think we've lost the ability to raise our own kids.
Sonia, my stepdaughter, is completely disrespectful to me.
Well, that's when you sit there and smack the piss out of her. That end that crap real quick. And then if she wants to call 911, you dial it for her.
And I hate to say it, but I don't really care what these people say about not being able to smack your kids. Your kids are being disrespectful. You need like he said, smack the crap out of them.
It only took me once, and they never freaking did it again.
I mean,
And I lay that ass, man.
my own daughter mouthed off to me many years ago, and all I did was I cracked her right in the mouth.
And then she hasn't done it since.
And she has never done it since then, because I'm like, and I don't even remember the situation. All I know is our son looked at me, his jaw dropped, and I'm like, I just popped her right in the mouth. Open hand, smacked her right in the mouth.
You know what scared me that night, and it actually had me up? This is how much it bugged me. Was that we'd see a report on TV that a kid was missing.
Mm-hmm. And last seen, and you show him in a homecoming dress.
That's what I was dreading all night. It's not even my kid.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I was dreading. It would only took one person to grab her, take her to Chicago, put her in a meat house, and never be seen again. Because that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
They grab these kids, put them in a meat house, hook them up on heroin. The next thing you know, they're just used.
Jason says the words bro and brother have really been bastardized nowadays. I agree with that. I agree with it. The terms aren't used properly.
Oh, they haven't been for years. I don't even listen to that shit anymore.
Steve, imagine trying this when we were younger. We would wake up 2 days later and be like, what the
That's
hell
exactly
happened?
in my situation. When I was younger, it was, you got a belt up until, maybe 10, 11. After that, you got the fist.
Yeah, would you have ever walked up to your dad and said, hey, bro? Would you have done it?
What do you think?
Hail to the nah. That would never have occurred. Never would have occurred.
And there's been a lot of talk about sex trafficking lately.
Yeah, there is.
And these people need to understand it's very real.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of foreigners coming to this country now. And you know what ones are the worst? Not only the ones from South America, but the former Eastern Bloc. And that is the Soviet Union. You're talking about Serbia and stuff like that. Them son of a bitches are big in the sex trafficking on the streets. And you got a lot of them in the United States now. And now we got this open border. You know how easy it's easy to come in. How much you think it's going to be easy to go out? Hell yeah. Parents, wake the fuck up and be a parent, man.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares if your kid's pissed at you?
Well, and if you look at all the numbers nowadays, as far as like, okay, it is officially October 1st. Okay, look how fast.
Are you guys all right in North Carolina, Steve? I know it's really bad down there. It's pretty bad. Trump's down there helping in this go ahead with your thing. I don't want to get on that.
Wow. Anywho, from January 1st until today, which is October 1st, look at the high rate of school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the highest it's ever been. Look at the rate of females. I'm just going to do females, talk about females right now. If you look up and see how many females have come up missing from the first of the year till now, it's probably the higher than it's ever been. And why? Stupidity, ignorance, no common sense, which I've noticed that a lot of people, so many people have absolutely no common sense nowadays. And parents, as we say it, are not parenting. If you have weapons in the house, do I believe people should be able to have weapons in the house? Sure, we do. Of course, I agree with it. But, and I'm talking a big old but.
That's the second part of our show, Screw Plan. We'll be talking about that.
But lock them up. if you know for a fact, which if you paid attention to any of these school shootings that have occurred since the first of the year, which I have, most of these minors have been being treated for mental instability, mental issues.
But I was bastardized when I was in that debate with Chuck when I said I fully support the Boyd card. All it is a background check.
Yes.
I want to know if you're a mental handicap prick.
Yeah. 100%.
And I had all kinds of hate for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told, we were talking about that, me, you, and the kid. I believe wholeheartedly in the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
But there has to be responsibility, common sense. And at some points, it's these school shooters' families. That's the reason why we're always under attack, because they don't do it. They don't put their guns in a safe.
No, they don't. Or they have the keys very accessible if they do. If you have keys to a safe, hide them. Do not let your minor children know where you store them.
Well, that's just like in the 50s and the 40s or whatever. They used to have gun safety in class.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it back. Teach kids that these ain't toys.
That's just like one of the things that we were talking about, because I actually pulled up an article when me, you, and our son were having this conversation about FOID cards here in Illinois.
Right.
And I pulled up the article and it states that the Illinois Supreme Court says Illinois State Police can revoke a person's firearm FOID card once they've been charged with a felony.
So what's wrong with that?
Absolutely
And see, they're
not.
going to come back at me and hit me hard on that.
Absolutely nothing.
If you get charged with a damn felony, I don't need you running around with a freaking 9mm, okay? For one, you gangbanging assholes, like turning it to the side like you're cool or something and spray everybody else instead of hitting a damn target. But why would I want somebody who was charged with a felony with a damn gun?
You don't.
For one, they got caught. They're stupid. So that proves right there they're not able to, own a gun because you're stupid. You got caught.
Well, and the biggest part of this issue was the specific case that they were talking about here was a father and son who were charged with felony reckless discharge of firearms for shooting their guns in the air over 4th of July weekend. And this is actually back in 2016. And like Hollywood said to our son, what goes up must come down. If you're outside, because it's...
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, you shouldn't air that motherfucker coming down.
Exactly. And like, New Year's, because we'll hear gunshots out here on New Year's Eve when New Year's comes in. 4th of July, you'll hear them mixed in with the fireworks. And it's like, do people not realize, like you said, Hollywood, whatever goes up is going to come down? And it may not come down with the same force, but it's
still going to come down.
But it's still going to come down and somebody could get hurt.
Now, I do. You know what, Steve? I do believe once you paid the price, depending on the crime now, that once you're done with serving your time as a felon, you should get your rights back. In some cases, no.
Now with this,
I don't want a guy who served this time on a murder, a sexual assault, a rape, having their gun rights restored.
Now with this specific situation with this father and son, their FOID cards were revoked. But when the charges were downgraded to misdemeanors and they pled guilty, their FOID cards were reissued.
So it was corrected.
It was corrected because they pled guilty because they said that they did what they did. So they brought it down from a felony to a misdemeanor and they were reissued their FOID cards. So
I would have still said, no, you're a dumbass for shooting in the air.
You're a
If
dumbass.
you're stupid, you don't need one.
Well, because I guess they were trying to sue Illinois for removing them, but since
Now,
they're
what is your and I have to agree with Road Rage on this somewhat, is his views: if you aren't trustworthy enough to be in the general public with a gun, then you aren't trustworthy enough to be there without one. Very good deal.
Hmm.
But this reckless discharge of a gun, it's like, dude, you fucking stupid.
I mean, I don't see what the why you have to be standing outside in front of your house shooting a gun in the air. That's
This
just,
ain't the Wild West,
I
man.
know, that's what I was gonna say. This ain't the Wild Wild West here. I mean, it's yeah. What is the purpose? I get it. You're excited, so throw a freaking firecracker outside. That's like
Mm.
don't that. It's totally unnecessary.
No, and that shows a lack of responsibility with the gun, and that's what makes us gun owners look bad.
Mm-hmm. And it's I'm sorry, but I think every state should have FOID.
Well, at least a background check. Shit.
Well, I mean, not a personal FOID card, but some sort of check where, oh, here's your gun in 2 days.
I just had to go through the freaking ringer for
Okay.
my stuff.
Yeah.
I went through the ringer to get a clearance just to go to the ports. It ain't hard to go
Yeah.
through a freaking little background check to get a freaking gun.
No. It is not. It's not.
And for all those hardcore people that say there should be no deal where it's the Second Amendment, we have a right to own it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
For those people, and if you have kids, would you want a mentally deranged idiot around your kid with a firearm?
Nope.
Because then your position don't hold water.
Mm-mm. People think that, I think people are like, well, we're just getting old. No. When you get older, you should be getting smarter. Should be getting smarter. Should be.
Mm.
And you should, hopefully have common sense and, yeah. I mean, the other thing people don't get it is with handguns and any kind of guns, you need to respect it.
Oh, yeah, you got to respect that shit.
If you don't respect the weapon that you have, then you're an idiot and you're going to do stupid stuff.
But I believe that they need to bring back the gun classes in schools.
You think so?
Yeah, teach them.
Teach them the proper.
Put them through a basic NRA 8-hour course. All right, respect the gun. You know what's funny? Sweden. Everybody's required to have a gun. Everybody. Because of military service, because they were in, invasion and all that kind of. I think it's in Sweden or Norway, one of the two. They respect firearms. But that's because they're taught from a young age. And that, you know what? I believe it's a parent's responsibility to teach guns.
So let's go back to what the county sheriff Mike Chitwood said with his, since parents don't want to raise your kids, I'm going to start raising them. If you I love that he did that, to be honest with you.
I do too.
I appreciate the fact that he's literally going to perp walk kids when they do.
Me too.
Because there's kids out there that are making false threats, violence, false threats, calling in, bomb threats. They're calling in.
Lock their little asses up.
They're calling in school shootings. They're calling in this. They're making all these false accusations to where the cops are in the wrong place and something can pop up at any minute. And they're all going to be in the wrong place and
right,
not be able to get to where they need to get to on time because too many of these fake calls are coming through, which is driving many police departments, not just where Sheriff Mike Chitwood is from, but it's driving many police departments absurdly crazy. That's just like a week and a half ago, there was a threat called in to one of the high schools that there was a shooter in the parking lot. Well, that was false. There was no shooter in the parking lot. That school went on lockdown. What the situation was, there were multiple students fighting inside the school, like physically fighting. There was no school shooter.
Little brats.
So they're calling in a school shooter to get the cops there to break up this big old fight that's inside the school. Ignorant parents.
Well, look at
teachers.
Road Rage just said, look what happened at Luke's school last week. A number came across the outside the U.S. and created chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's kids as there was a story about a kid using Snapchat threatening school shooting. He was like 8 years old.
Jesus Christ. Well, you know what? They shouldn't be on the damn internet at that young age.
And the threats were going through were being threatened for the high school. So they did arrest this kid because I did a news story on this kid, and the kid's dad actually turned in his own son.
He should have beat his ass, then turned him in.
But it's like, parents, pay more attention to what your kid's doing on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You have to.
I don't think at 8 years old they need to be on the damn internet.
They shouldn't be having a Snapchat at 8 years old.
Hell no. You don't know who you're talking to.
And that's the thing. Parents aren't, like we said, parents are not parenting. You're not paying attention to who your kids' friends are. We knew all our kids' friends.
Mm-hmm.
My parents knew all my friends. I'm sure your parents knew all your friends.
Then what are you talking about, man? We had parents all over the place on my block.
But it's like, if you don't know something about if your kid's hanging around with someone and you don't know this kid, you don't know their parents, you need to find out about this kid. You need to, I don't know, meet their parents.
Mm-hmm. Because
you need to know who your kids are hanging around with. Because what if, you find out one of your son or your daughter is hanging around with, or your daughter's dating somebody that's got a juvenile record?
Mm.
Oh, well, what'd they get in trouble for? Do you even know anything about this kid? Do you know this kid? No. Well, let's find out. They're not paying attention.
Talking about guns, we're gonna take a short break for ad on my book real quick. You're gonna want to listen to this one, but it's time to get prepared, guys. It really is. As far as stocking up weapons and all that, this is hitting the news right after this, man. Bad stuff coming.
Is an in-depth look at the trials and tribulations of street gang and motorcycle club life. This isn't the run-of-the-mill book that doesn't give the goods. This book will go into detail of events that actually happened. All materials in this book have been approved by those involved. There is nothing poetic, nor is there any price worth paying for the life we choose to live on the streets. James Hollywood Machikari, Brotherhood and Betrayal.
Okay, this country is, and it's of its own fault, why this is a bad time right now. Everything we have comes through the ports. International trade. Everything from food, or gas, even though we don't need to do that. We have it right here where we could drill it ourselves, but we'll not go into that kind of politics. But everything comes through the ports of this country, and the longshoremen are about to strike. I think they actually started. Everything on the East Coast to Texas is shut down, those ports. Listen to what the boss of the longshoremen has to say, and the reason why you better start stocking up like it's COVID again.
These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, Malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the companies money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
They can cripple the economy in a heartbeat. All goods stop. And then what happens? People get unrest. You know, those preppers kind of had it freaking right, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Stock up, have your freaking guns, your ammunition, and get ready for some chaos. I would be doing that anyway now, because no matter who wins in November or who steals it, there's going to be ultimate chaos now. Last night at 11 o'clock p.m., Putin was rushed to an emergency meeting because Israel invades Lebanon. This world is becoming chaotic. And I don't think a lot of people are prepared for what could be going down right now. But with the longshoremen walking out, that's bringing every port down on the East Coast. And it could be an October surprise screw plan where, you know, Biden's or Kamala swoops in to try to save the day. But what do you think about that?
Now,
A whole industry can close down our economy.
Man, I better go shopping. That's one of the
You
first.
think?
That's one of the first things that come to mind. Is like, I better start stocking up on some canned goods or something. I'm like, no, because this is no.
Prepare salt, flour, sugar, barter items. Remember when I talked to you?
If anything ever happened, the first place we're going is my work.
And taking what?
Cigarettes and alcohol.
Now, why did I say the first thing we're going to hit was the cigarettes and alcohol?
Better to barter with and trade. Cigarettes and alcohol is going to be a high commodity.
I'll be charging. Okay, you got to have me an AR-15 for a bottle of Jack Daniels.
It's going to be a high commodity, that place.
I need 100 rounds for that AR-15, and I'll give you a pack of cigarettes. Because a lot of people don't understand that's what's going to become important. Or I'll give you a bottle of Jack Daniels for 5 gallons of gas.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said I would hit it first. What?
Irish pepper.
What?
What Irish pepper said. The time to start prepping was 4 years ago. At this point, it's going to be very difficult and expensive to prepare.
That it is.
It is. It's 10 times expensive. But see, I do my research. And if you go to like a grocery store, 9 times out of 10, they have canned goods on sale for $10 for $10. 10
Or
for
start
$10.
hitting the food pantries, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pepper, salt. You're going to need the freaking salt to dry out your meat, prepare your meat like they did in the old days, or build a smokehouse.
Yeah. I mean, this is not a good thing that they're on strike.
No, it ain't a good thing. That just hit you, didn't it?
Yeah. It's like I'm sitting here mentally thinking of all the things that actually aren't made in the USA.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's not just food.
You
It's-
free trade Republican bastards. This is what you did. You can't blame that on the Democrats.
And the sad thing is, it's not just food. There's so many other things that come from overseas. Like he said, cars, car dealers. Oh,
Our building supplies, we don't got any good steel left anymore.
don't forget, a lot of Harley Davidson stuff's overseas.
Right?
Sorry, I had to,
A lot of the parts ain't made in friggin' America hardly.
but I had to. But it's like, yeah, these things need to, Steve, these things need to happen once in a while. People get too soft and need a wake-up call.
Exactly. And Rage was right, man. The best time was 20 years ago, but now is the time now.
Steve, that was a low blow. Tried it out. I had to. Sorry. It was like it was there and it came out here. It happened.
And you know what, Screw Plan? I think it will destroy our economy because it's already bad right now. It's going to cripple us. So that's why I'm bringing it to your attention. Get out there and go get some shit, man.
Well, and Sonia mentioned a good thing too. Stock up on medicine.
Oh yeah.
That's like,
well, what's going to be worrying
in the gas station? I'd be like scraping all their NyQuil and their Tylenol and ibuprofen.
No,
'cause they're gonna need it.
what's scary is we got everybody hooked on these depression meds.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Within a week after a mass disaster, it's going to get even worse because of that.
It's going to get worse because ain't nobody going to have their medication. Because dang well somebody's going to raid pharmacies.
And there's a good barter item too. Antibiotics is going to be huge.
Mm-hmm. But it's ridiculous. You think we're having a hard time paying for stuff now? Just imagine what would happen if
It's going to triple. The inflation's going to go through the roof.
If these people stay on strike, prices are just gonna raise even higher than what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think you can walk out of the grocery store spending like $200 with like 2 to 3 big bags of
Now
groceries.
you're thinking about cans, aren't you?
Now you're sitting there, you walking out, you spent $200, $300, you got one grocery bag. I mean, that's what's going to end up happening if this
Don't stop.
and if it don't stop. It's stupid.
It's some scary stuff.
And then it makes you sit back and makes you think, okay, like, I hate having to bring up any sort of politics because I'm not that person. That is one of my biggest things is I don't like talking about it. But if this government doesn't get their shit together.
Right here from the AP, dock workers at ports from Maine to Texas go on strike, standoff, risking new shortages.
It's bad enough that you go into the grocery stores and there's a lot of stuff missing in the stores that they're not getting in anymore. It's stupid. He goes, booger sugar is a great antidepressant.
Here's more. Higher prices, rotten fruit, and more. How long shoreman strike could impact consumers. Workers began picketing at the Port of Philadelphia shortly after midnight, walking in a circle at the rail crossing. And remember, what happens? It comes off the ships, goes onto the rails, goes onto the trucks.
Mm-hmm. And if you think about it with these people being on strike, look at all the other people that are going to end up being out of a job.
The strike will likely have an almost immediate impact on supplies of perishable imports, that's food, like bananas, for example. The ports affected by the strike handle 3.8 million metric tons of bananas each year, or 75% of the nation's supply. It goes more than a few weeks of work stoppage would have significantly snarled the nation's supply chain, potentially leading to higher prices, delays in goods, reaching households and businesses. It would force businesses to pay shippers for delays and potentially impact the delivery of anything and everything, from toys to artificial Christmas tree to cars, coffee, and for everything. So Irish Prepper out there, you better go watch his channel.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thought they were conspiracy theorists.
Well, like I was saying, how many people are with them being on strike, how many people are gonna be out of jobs?
Oh my God, it's just not
it's not just the people bringing the food, from overseas. It's the truck drivers that take your food to the grocery store.
My worry is road rage. Yeah, they'll start shipping through the West Coast, but then the longshoremen over there are going to join into the strike and all the ports are closed.
Then what? Anarchy.
Well, yeah, basically it is anarchy situation. That's why you got to be prepped, ready to go for an emergency.
Yeah. I'm sitting here going, how much room do I have in my Jeep?
Because, it went from, okay, a bag of flour is like $5 now. Now it's going to go to 15, 20.
Well, and eggs went down for a while. And like Screwplan just said, egg prices are going up again. And it's like $4 to $5 for 12 eggs.
And it's probably going to go to 10 now.
Mm-hmm. And there's shortages already on a lot of stuff. You walk through a grocery store and you go down and just, pick an aisle. And I bet you there's bare shelves already because of stuff that's.
Well, there is, because everybody knows how serious this is.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows how serious this is going to get.
Mm-hmm. It's getting stupid.
So if they don't resolve the strike fast, which I don't think a union should be able to hold the country hostage, if you ask me. They already get paid $50 fucking an hour. I can go into union stuff forever. But this could really put the country into a recession now. And then once the supply chain stopped like it is, then it takes a while for it to catch up. So 1 week strike could cost 2 months of catching up. Basically what we had with COVID.
Steve, time to automate the ports.
But am I right? Should a union be able to close down the whole fucking country?
No, they shouldn't. It's like you said, it's almost like they're holding us hostage.
Unions are basically communists, if you ask me. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that, but that's basically what it is. You're using communist ideology to forward a cause.
Dirty knobs, we are in a recession heading to a depression.
It could be, yeah, a depression. And nobody's ready for that kind of shit. So they better get their shit together real quick.
Can we go buy some chickens? So at least
How many times did I say, hey, let's build the chicken coop in back? Well, they're pets. No, they ain't. I'm cutting their damn heads off, taking their feathers off, and I'm having me a meal.
We ain't cutting our heads off. We keep them for the eggs.
China always trying to negotiate having a damn pet.
What? I'll get some chickens. I'll feed them, and they're all gonna have names, because then you can't kill them.
I'll kill it quick.
No, we have to have them for eggs.
You only need 2 for eggs.
No, 7. We need 7.
Oh,
Let's
my
piss
goodness.
off the neighbors and get a freaking rooster too. It can wake everybody up every day. It's fine.
Man, that's messed up, Dwayne. Anyway, that's the show for today. Get prepared. Let me know in the comment section what you all think, man. Appreciate you hanging with us today. You guys all rock on, baby. Rock on.